Hello, good morning. Happy Friday. What's up, moms? How y'all doing? It's your girl, Sharita, the Behavior and Literacy Strategist, coming at you from the Morgan Unlimited Growth Institute, where you'll find solutions for both your child's behavior and literacy challenges. That's right, we combine both here, okay? We want our children to grow behaviorally and academically. I got a good one for y'all today, and it's why we should stop making things easy for our children. Why we need to stop, cut it out, making things easy for our children, okay? I'm talking to you, moms. I'm talking to you if you're feeling like my child will do better at this if I do X, Y, and Z. Or if I set my child up and it's my fault. Like you're always blaming yourselves when we are talking on the phone during the consultations. It's my fault, it's me. If I did this, then my child would do this. Or, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy them this, and then they're going to, then a problem will be solved. So our children are getting used to us taking full responsibility for their academic growth, their behavioral growth. They're looking at us to take care of and solve every problem, and we gotta stop doing that. Why should you stop making things easy for your child? Okay, the number one reason why you should stop is because there is no growth when there is no challenge. There is no growth when there is no challenge. We want our children to grow. Children grow naturally, except when we're doing too many things for them, when we're setting up things so that everything can run smoothly for them, right? Or we are giving them too much help. In the classrooms, they get too much help. They're always getting an aide to help them or a teacher to help them. They are asking for help before they even get started, right? We're making things too easy. We are coming down to the level that they want to work. We're coming down to the level where they feel comfortable. And that's not cool. We have to make it easy. Stop making it easy. You know why? Because year after year after year after year, our children end up in the same exact place. And I've always said this. If a child is reading on second grade level, right, in school, the next year they should not still be reading on second grade level. There's something wrong here. Okay? Now, what happened? Why didn't they grow? Why did they sit in the classroom for an entire school year and did not move from second grade level to third grade level? Or if it was reading on a third grade level. So I'm talking about if they say they are sixth grade and they are only reading on second grade level. At the end of the year, that should not still be the case. Let's say your child has behavior problems. If they're in a they have behavior problems in 2021 and 2022, they should not still have the same behavior problems. There should always be growth. What is stopping this growth? One of the biggest things that's stopping this growth is that we are making things too easy for them. We are helping them. We are saying, what do you need? What do you need? How can I help you? Right? When we're talking to our children like this and we are running around like chickens with our heads cut off, moms, and trying to accommodate, trying to make sure they have all the help they need, then we are teaching our children that is the only way that they can expect and we can expect for them to get things done, is if they have help. The only way I'm moving forward is if I have help. The only way I'm moving forward is if you sit right next to me to get it done. The only way I'm moving forward now is if in the classroom now, the aide sits next to me to get it done. Or the teacher sits next to me to get it done. The only way I'm going to sit still and do my work is if somebody comes to make sure I sit still. Okay? So we need to stop making things easy for them. Okay? There's no growth in easy. I gotta tell you a couple stories so you understand. Okay. Let me tell you some stories so I can really hit home here. Okay, so let me talk about one of my students yesterday. She was in my early learning group. Those are my babies, the smallest babies, right? In my early learning group, they're learning how to read. They're learning how to write sentences, right? They have to learn, in an early learning group, they may have to learn their alphabet and their sounds and write their letters and their numbers, right? They have to make sure they're not writing their letters backwards in my early learning group. We have these issues later on, which I correct with students coming to my program. But this is the small group, right? The requirement in that group is that they learn how to write one sentence because they are starting from scratch, right? So I didn't learn how to write one sentence and learning their sight words and learning how to read and everything. Eventually, it's time to move on. Now my first grader is not in my early learning group. My first grader is now in my beginners elementary group, where now you have to write 5 sentences. Homegirl was not having it. She's like, no. I do not want to write 5 sentences. Can we just write 1 today? Miss Sharita, can we write 1 today? I did not have because they have to write about their days. And I did not have a good day yesterday because I had to write 5 sentences. Miss Sharita, can we just write 1 sentence today, Miss Sharita? And Miss Sharita's like, nope. You got to write 5. Now, I know that's a stretch for her. But you've gone past that. If you know how to write a sentence correctly, your spelling has improved. You know how to write, and you remember to write your capital letter in the beginning and your period at the end. And like I say, your spelling's improved. Now it's time to move on to the next level, honey. All right? But she doesn't understand this. But she wants me to make it easier. She wants me to lower my expectations. I did not. There were times that she would come to class and she would take a very long time writing her sentences and she was complaining. She wouldn't be trying to sound out the words now when she spelled. She was trying to get me to just give her, tell her how to spell it. She was trying to get me to make it easier for her. Cut it down, Miss Rita. Lower your expectations because this is more than what I'm used to. But she was ready. She didn't know she was ready. Nobody knew she was ready. But Miss Sharita knows she's ready, right? So I stuck to my guns, and yesterday she wrote a 5-sentence paragraph for the first time in 8 minutes, which is the requirement. And when I tell you, they were beautiful sentences, and most of the words were spelled right. She just got into 1st grade. So that's the challenge. I'm not going to make it easy because I know she can do it. And now she's so proud of herself. She's so proud of herself. See, when we make things easy for our children, what we end up doing is we end up taking away that opportunity. And it's not, I'm not blaming. We're not to blame. I don't play the blame game here. It's just being aware so that we can catch ourselves when we're doing certain things. We take away the opportunity for them to get to the point where they're like, I did it. Okay? When they get to that point, they feel so good because they've grown. Like, I'm able to do something else. Now, I'm not there. I'm in the screen. This is Zoom. This is Zoom style, y'all. So I'm not there to help her. I'm not helping her through the screen at all. I'm not spelling anything for her or anything. She really had to do it herself. But I kept coaching her, and I kept the same requirement. And after a couple of sessions, it probably took like 4 sessions for her to be able to do it. So when your child is pushing back and they're asking you to make things easier, lower your expectations. Spell it for me. Give me 1 sentence instead of 5 because I'm not used to this. You do not do that. You keep the expectation high because she's going to grow to meet your expectations. When I talk to moms all the time and say your standards are the most important thing. Your standards have to always be high for your children. They're not going to, if your standards are low, they're not going to perform higher than your standards. They usually perform lower than your standards. So raise that bar, honey. Raise that bar so that they can come up, okay? Now, another student, he was 4 years old when he first came to me, and now he's 5 and he's in kindergarten, and he really had a tough time when he first came. He would not sit still. He would get up out his seat, jump on the bed, do all kind of stuff, right? So his goal was remain seated. It was a lot of stuff. He was all over the place. It looked like it was impossible for him to be able to sit for an hour and do work with me, right? he didn't want to write either. He's one of those kids that's very smart, but now when it's time to write something, he don't want to do it, right? So he went from doing all of that to now he's used to writing sentences for me, and then we write the sentence. My students learn how to edit themselves, and he's getting better at that. And then I said, good job, he did it fast today. And then he says, Miss Sharita, can I write another sentence? Sure, write another sentence. That's growth. He had to have that challenge. He had to have the expectation. Another thing is, yesterday he sat in his seat and worked and kept up, participated and wrote down everything he was supposed to write down and did his work, his independent work for 45 minutes straight for the first time yesterday, okay? Why? Because Miss Sharita's standards is high, because Miss Sharita will not make things easy for you. Miss Sharita knows that you are a smart boy. You are a smart boy, but you need to work on sitting down. You're a smart boy, but you need to work on concentrating. You're a smart boy, but you need to work on that work ethic. You're a smart boy, but you used to everybody doing stuff for you to make it easy, and this is not that kind of game. Like this kind of show, Miss Sharita don't play that. All right. So by keeping the standards high and by challenging him, and not spelling things for him whenever he used to get upset and want me to spell it for him first. By not breaking down, and even his mom was like feeling bad and like wanting to spell it for him, and that word is too hard, right, for him to spell. I stuck with it. The challenge, he started to raise up, and now he done passed it. He wrote his sentence, and now he's asking to write another sentence, okay? Last story. I have a 6th grader, smart girl. She just started in my math word problem class. Excuse me. It's a class that I teach children how to read, understand, solve, and create, and then teach word problems. But in a word problem, there's math. So if you don't know the basics, we got to work on that too, right? So we're working and I start to challenge her. She says, we're doing the same thing in my class. I'm like, okay. So now I'm getting hit with this is how we do it in my class. This is how we do it at school. I get hit with that all the time. My students, I have different expectations for them. And they always say, but in school, we don't have to write all the questions down. In school, we don't have to show all that work. In school, we don't have to. This ain't your school. This is Miss Sharita's class, y'all. This is Miss Sharita's class. So I gave her the problem, and it was more along the lines of what I was teaching her, what we've been working on. I know her growth, and whenever you grow to a certain level, boom, I'm taking it to the next level. It's time now, honey. It's time to go to the next level. It's time to get better. So now she's saying and doing the same thing in school. And then I give her the problem. And another thing, my students have to figure stuff out. I don't always tell them exactly what to do before. I'm like, how would you solve this problem? She's saying, in school, we don't work with 3 numbers at a time. We only work with 1. In school, we don't have to do it by ourselves. The teacher lets us work in a group. In school, the teacher helps us figure out what to do first. In school, right? So she's saying all this, and I'm sitting here the whole time like, And what else, honey? Okay, so you're saying that in school, you get to work with other kids. You don't have to do it by yourself. Okay. And what else? So she can say all that stuff. She's talking for 5 minutes, right? And I'm like, okay, so what's your point? What's your point? I'm not your teacher at school. This is my class, and I teach things differently, right? You know that. We both know that, right? All that time you was talking and protesting, trying to get out of doing this math problem, you could have had it solved already. So pay attention, right? Because I'm getting that word focus out of my vocabulary, right? Because kids, it's a negative connotation on it for them, or excuses. I can't focus. I don't know how to focus, right? So concentrate and get it done. Figure it out. And let me know what you came up with. And then she said, what if, I laughed out loud at this, what if I get it wrong? I said, what if you get it wrong? Because Miss Sharita don't solve your problems. What if I get it wrong? What if you get it wrong? If I get it wrong, do I get to do it the way we do it at school? I just laughed. No. No, you don't. All right. You got 8 minutes? Let's go. All right? And then she started doing it, and she was like hemming and hawing. She didn't really want to do it, but she started doing it. She still have to work on it, but I see that she's able to figure out, and like she's coming to the end of solving it. And today we will finish it, right? We're going to continue. We're going to finish it, but you have to do solving all our kids' problems, making things easy for them, setting it up for them is not a good thing, y'all. We have to make sure, my next appointment coming in 30 minutes. I'm about to finish up anyway. We have to make sure that our kids are always challenged. When we don't challenge them, when we say, this is how I want you to do it just like this. Do you understand? Okay, let's do it together. Okay, now you do it by yourself. Doing everything like that, it doesn't give them space to think. We need our children to become accustomed to figuring it out. We need our children to be accustomed to getting right to work immediately without any adults being right there to baby step them. Okay? We need our children to do that. If we don't do that, then their ability to think, problem solve, figure it out is not happening. Also, they're not growing. The growth is in the challenge. To be able to think it out, to get things wrong and say, keep going. All right? Next, what else can you do? What else you got? Think. That's where the growth happens, okay? So student I'm talking to you about now, we first started working, she didn't know her multiplication table. She knew some of them, but she didn't know all of them. We've been working on it, and now she is on 11s, and she has to stand up. She has to turn around, face away from the camera, and be by herself and just recite all of them from 2s up to 11s. And next week we're going to do 12s. And in the beginning, it was tough for her. In the beginning, she was doing it, but she didn't want to make a mistake, so she was trying to slow it down, right? All those things were happening, but now she's confident. She's like boom, 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 boom. She feels good about herself. And you can't always be looking. I'm not going to help you. I'm not going to help you remember. So when she gets stuck and she says, wait a minute, which one did I just say? Then I don't say, oh, you said 7 times 8. I say, which one did you just say? Start over. Start over. Because I want her to pay attention to detail, which is her goal. Pay attention to detail. Keep up with her own numbers. Really focus in. Don't think about anything else. And master it. Figure it out. Okay? So stop helping our kids. We have to stop helping them all the time and making things easier. Make them work for it. Make them think. Make them figure it out. Make them solve their own problems. Okay? Now I just told you academically these things, right? The examples. Now let me give you a behavior example. I have a student, excellent young man, champion. His mom is amazing. Her 2 boys. She is very present. She drives them to and from football practice, track practice, all that stuff. They're champions, these boys, right? They have some struggles with literacy, right? So they've come a long way. They're going to be graduating soon. So he's also come a long way in his behavior. Okay, his mom says that she definitely see a transformation since he's been in the program. He used to fight at the drop of a dime and fight everybody, right? So recently, though, he got into a fight at school, okay? So now in the group, my students are learning conflict resolution. And how could you have prevented that from happening in the first place? What do you think you could have done instead? And role playing and seeing, they're figuring it out. I'm not telling him what he should have done or what he should do next time. I won't tell him that. You know why? Because I've learned over the years, I've been doing this for a long time. I was a mental health specialist and special education teacher. The more we think for our kids, the less they will use it when they are in the moment. They have to think, y'all. They have to think. They have to reimagine the situation and think about it and come up with scenarios. They can't just regurgitate what we always tell them. Hello, Duka. Thank you. Welcome. We're talking about not making things easy for our children, right? We can't. I've never done that. I've always asked them. And if they break rules, they always have to figure out themselves what they should have done instead of what they'll do next time. So a lot of growth has happened because he's able to go back in a moment when he had to fight, and his group members as well, they're all helping. We're all having a discussion on how to be assertive instead of aggressive, on how to protect your personal space. If you're not starting a fight, but you see somebody trying to start some junk, how you could cut that junk off before they invade your space, and now you are out of character, right? But how to prevent it in the first place? I told them nothing. I only taught them the word assertive, and taught them assertive versus aggressive. We looked up online together. They had to read the definition, right, themselves and write it down, and they are figuring it out. I've seen so much growth over these past 2 weeks with this young man, just because he's now equipped, because he's able to think. So in the moment when he comes across a situation again, he's now equipped. Okay? That's not easy. Some adults have a hard time with that. Me, I had to learn that myself. How to separate yourself when somebody come in your space trying to cause problems, right? How to separate yourself, how to see it coming, how to separate yourself, and how to protect your space. Let them know you ain't the one, right? But protect your space and move to another space and keep on with your grind, right? They have to learn that. But the key is, I did not tell them what to do. So stop solving problems. We have to stop solving our kids' problems. We have to stop trying to make everything easy for them. We have to stop trying to get them to avoid a consequence as well. I'll talk to y'all more about that another time, right? Because I know all too well about that as a mom, okay? So we have to stop doing that. Don't make things easy for them. Challenge them. Find out where their level is. Find out where their level is academically. Then challenge them to go to the next level. Find out where their level is behaviorally. Then challenge them and go to the next level. You want your child to be a leader? Find out what leadership qualities they have right now. What are they lacking? Challenge them to go to the next level. Next level, next level, next level. We are building champions here, y'all. We are building champions. All right? So moms, the moms in my program are champions. Champions, overachievers, and I'm talking about myself too. That's how I can relate. Overachievers will do anything for your children. You're gonna make sure they straight regardless, right? Now, the same stuff that you got in you, that's like a go-getter, is gonna make sure you'll do anything. You won't work hard. You want your children to be the same way, not just sitting back getting the benefit of all of us working, right? And if you're doing it at home, they're gonna expect the teacher and the aide to do it at school. No, challenge them. Raise your expectations. Raise your standards. Next level, next level, next level. All right? So just to sum it up, we want to not take things easier, make things easy for our children, because the growth is in the challenge, y'all. Also, we want them to figure things out. We can't run by their side every time, and every time they have to embark on a new journey or tackle something they never tackled before, and they say, I can't do it immediately, and then we run to their side and then we help them along the way. No, take those training wheels off, man. Take them off and let them figure it out. Let them grow, all right? And the more your child does that, the more they're going to be equipped in the classroom and at life. Now, you know that's our goal here. You know that's what we focus on. We're improving our children's behavior and literacy, and now math too. I now teach math as well from home, so that they could be equipped in the classroom and in life. We don't want our children needing somebody or something to control them, to make sure they sit down, to make sure they focus on their work, to make sure they complete their work, or reading things to them, or writing for them. No, we want our children to be able to do it themselves. So if your child is there right now, understand and get in your mind that that's temporary. And where you want your child to be, that's where they're going, and get started right now. Don't wait. Just get started on accomplishing that for your child. You got this, okay? All right, for more information on my tutoring and coaching program, you can send me a message, y'all, or go to visit me at growthinstitute.mykajabi.com. That's GROWTH Institute.mykajabi.com. I'm about to get out of here, y'all, because I got 20 minutes, and then I have back-to-back appointments, and then I'll be able to eat some lunch, and then I'm going to go pick up Maya from school, right? And then the kids going to be here, right? But I'm still enjoying the quiet, during the day, and to be able to come and talk to y'all more often, because my kids are now in school, right? So they are having their life. They have a life outside of home now, and now I can focus on more things, okay? So I'm really enjoying that. I hope you're having a great day. I hope y'all are having a beautiful day, moms. I hope you're taking care of yourselves and making sure you do your self-care so that you can show up every day and do what you got to do, okay? All right, so I'm about to be out of here. Thank you so much again for coming to hang with me. Thanks for watching. Believe in yourself. Believe in your child, honey. And always remember that growth is unlimited. Peace.